In this tutorial, a small configuration plug-in circuit with a resistor divider goes through major changes during PCB layout, and these changes are annotated back to the schematics. After the schematics are ready, do the usual forward annotation to pcb-rnd. In pcb-rnd, we quickly realise 1206 is too large compared to the connector, and the resistors should be 0805 instead. We make sure floaters are locked so it's easier to select subcircuits, and select R1. Using the Back Annotation menu, we replace the footprint of R1. This way, pcb-rnd understands we want a different footprint, and forward annotation with the old footprint will not change it back. We repeat the process for R2 using the hotkey. Inspecting connector pin networks, it becomes clear that the host board has a different pinout. Pin 2 and 3, VCC and div are in the wrong order. This is an error in our schematics, copied to the PCB layout's netlist by forward annotation. To fix this error, we make a selection that includes the two terminals of the connector. It doesn't matter how many non-terminal objects are included in the selection. Using the Back Annotation menu, we explain to PCB that the two selected terminals need to be swapped. Updating the rat's nest will change rats to reflect the swap. Now that our board has the right logical connections and footprints, we can do the layout without having to worry about updating the schematics. When finished, after saving the board, we also need to export the Back Annotation pack so that we can go and fix up the schematics. Back in sch-rnd, we first make sure auto-compile is activated. This will make changes appear automatically. Then we import the Back Annotation pack. This opens the Back Annotation dialog for the current project. The status for all 10 entries are pending, which means we need to fix them. The first 2 entries are the footprint changes. Then 4 entries perform the terminal swap by removing and creating connections. The first task is to replace the footprint of R1. Clicking the Details button will look up the symbol in the project and opens the attribute editor with the footprint attribute selected, so that we only need to enter the new value, accept it, and close the dialog. After autocompile triggers, the change shows on the drawing, and sch-rnd figures we have fixed one of the differences successfully and marks the given task done. An even quicker way is clicking the Auto Fix button, which will automatically edit the attribute. Both of these work only for simple cases, when there is a footprint attribute set in a symbol. If the footprint is calculated by a plugin, for example the dev map, sch-rnd can still check if the difference is resolved, but can't figure how to fix it automatically. Now we need to delete a connection between the div network and terminal 2 of the connector. The Details button pops up the tree view that highlights the wire to be removed. This is useful on dense drawings or multi-sheet projects. Once the wire is removed, sch-rnd acknowledges this by marking the task done. Again, we can get these simple cases auto-fixed instead of manually looking the connections up. Auto-fix also works on creating new connections in some simple cases. Now that all tasks are performed, the full Back Annotation is done, and the schematics reflects the final board.